And we've spent some time studying that. Robert Levine, our economist, has done a fascinating study. And our prediction is that the economy will continue to grow into the future. But the impact of a maturing global population is that the economy will grow more slowly. And that has implications for investment returns. Michael referenced the future of work and the trends that Deloitte helped us uncover with potential workforce disruptors. Technology is changing everything we do. It has already changed the back offices of banks and insurance companies, and it will impact all aspects of clerical work that we see around the world. The growth in non-full-time work is a trend that we are seeing very significantly in the members of the pension plan. And not all non-full-time workers in the municipal sector in Ontario are members of our pension plan. So that's something that we need to think about. And alternative service delivery is something that we've been monitoring now for a number of years. When we put all that together, our baseline conclusion as we go into the future, it is unlikely that we're going to see growth in the active membership of the OMERS pension plan. In fact, it is more likely that we will see a small reduction over time in the size of our active workers. And that puts pressure further on plan maturity. And CPP enhancement. Good news for Canadians, their pensions are being enhanced through the CPP. The covered earnings are increasing by 14%. The covered amount is going from 25% to 33%. And that means that all Canadians can expect an improvement in their pensions into retirement. That will cover additional cost, which at the moment will be layered on top of the OMERS pension plan. And we need to think about what that means to pension plan design. So these are some of the issues that we at the Administration Corporation Management have been thinking about. We've been in active conversation with the board, and the board of the AC has been in discussions with the board of the SC talking about these risks. What can happen? Well, let me just give you one very simple illustration as to when you stack these factors one on top of another, what the impact could be. And this is a very simple example. What would be the additional contributions to the pension plan if we suffered a 15% shock? Why did I pick a 15% shock? Because that was the shock the pension plan suffered in 2008. Well, if we had that shock today, and we didn't have any smoothing reserve on assets, and we didn't have any surplus to absorb that shock, it would cost about an 8% increase in contribution rates. That's 4% for members, 4% for employers. Roll that forward to 2045, when the plan has matured further, the impact is significantly more. In 2045, using the same scenario, we project that the additional contribution increase would be 14%. That's 7% for members and 7% for employers. And that is a significant risk to members and employers into the future. So these are the conversations that the AC board has been having with the SC board. Looking ahead, the risks we believe are asymmetrical and they're biased to the downside. And that is part of the catalyst for plan review. And that is something that Paul Harrietta is going to join us and speak about next. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jonathan, and good morning. Thrilled to be here with you today to, as Jonathan indicated, talk to you about the comprehensive plan review. We see it as an exciting initiative to be pursued at OMERS, and something that reflects very much our needs and expectations as a plan as we move forward to ensure, as we like to say, that the plan remains sustainable, meaningful, and affordable to members for generations to come. So as Michael and Jonathan have indicated, 2017 was an excellent year for OMERS by any standards. And as we all know, and we've seen from the graphics, that we continue to enjoy improved health. The plan continues, the health continues to improve dramatically, and it has done so over the last 3, 4, 5 years. That's a positive thing. And I personally would like to congratulate the OMERS team, the investment team in particular, for an outstanding job. We at the SC certainly have confidence that they will continue, based on the strategies, 2020, 2030, and others, to continue to perform in remarkable ways. I think we should all take comfort in the quality of the people, the strategies, and the assets that are in place at OMERS, and it augurs well for our future. But as Mary Ann said, while we should take comfort in these elements, we can't necessarily take them for granted as we move forward. We can celebrate the ongoing success, but we have to be realistic as we move forward, in that OMERS does, in fact, face a number of very significant headwinds that Jonathan has just gone through. So our job as we move forward, and the intent of the comprehensive plan review, is to make sure that we address these headwinds long before they gather strength and ultimately become unmanageable. So as we shift our focus from recovery to sustainability, that is from the present to the future, 2 key questions from my perspective emerge. The first is, can OMERS' current benefit and contribution levels be sustained and even improved over the longer term? And 2, regardless, is there a better and more equitable way to deliver the pension promise in a changing world? Our perception as we move forward is that change is necessarily negative, and it needn't be. As part of the plan review, we want to look at all components of the plan, including potential enhancements. And that, at the end of the day, is the basis for the review that we're undertaking. So, of interest, the comprehensive plan review was born about a year ago and was approved unanimously by the board following the direct consultation with sponsors on what we were calling at the time modified inflation indexing, or MI squared. Well, many sponsors, and I'll stress many, not all, supported the concept of conditional indexing in principle. There was a general consensus that the sponsors wanted a better understanding of the other potential options available to the SC before they were going to sign off on the concept itself. So by responding to this feedback directly, the board is really fulfilling its mandate, its formal mandate, to assess the plan's long-term financial health and to ensure that the plan remains sustainable, meaningful, and affordable through good times and bad, and more importantly, for generations to come. That we see as our obligation and our opportunity. So what does the comprehensive plan look like, and where does it stand at the moment? Well, as a first step in the plan review, the board wanted to assess for itself whether the current plan was in fact sustainable, and as a next step to actually build some consensus on what we meant by this term sustainable in a DB world. After much discussion, the board agreed unanimously that the OMERS plan will be considered sustainable if it can consistently deliver, through both favorable and adverse circumstances, an appropriate range of benefits within an acceptable range of costs and across generations. Now, implicit within this definition, and in keeping with the OMERS 50-year legacy of meaningful change, the plan must be both resilient and flexible enough to address the unforeseeable events on a proactive, and we would say positive basis. As an extension of that disability definition, the board adopted 5 guiding principles to help inform the plan review. A was to ensure that the plan, whatever form it would take, would remain secure, suggest that we would maintain a DB model under all circumstances, that the benefits that were provided were relevant. Do they in fact meet the needs and expectations of the members, the employers, the unions, and the sponsors who are part of the OMERS plan? Do they remain affordable? So any plan is sustainable if we contribute